That's enough to get her to do it. Now, when she goes home, she can even develop a strategy to enjoy it. Like, I interview people that do things that other people hate, find out how they do it. Somebody loves to clean their house. I say, great, well, let's look at these 6 human needs, because if you love it, it meets many of your needs, at least 3 or 4. On a 0 to 10, cleaning your house, how much certainty does it give you? And the lady says, 10. I say, why? She goes, because I know how to do it well, and I do it well every time. And I have control of it. Before your emails, as a way for you to get a sense of accomplishment, knocking a few off, doing something that's meaningless, you used to, when you're stressed out, organize your desk. How many are old enough to remember that? Now, you don't even have a desk. Your desk is your laptop, right? So you knock off emails and things to feel a sense of accomplishment, which is you're just being active. You're doing activity. You're not accomplishing anything. Nothing significant. You're doing movement, trying to make it feel like achievement, because you feel uncertain about things. Out of control. That's what you used to do with paperwork, so you could take it back. What else? I did variety, she says. Cleaning the house? She goes, yes, I have 5 children. You never know what you're going to find. 0 to 10, how much significance? 100. Why? She goes, when I'm walking around the house, she goes, I play tapes like yours. I do significant, important things. I have time to think through my life as I'm doing these things while I'm accomplishing something. Plus, she goes, most people have a dirty house, and mine isn't dirty. People come over, it's spotless. I feel proud. What else? Connection and love from cleaning the house? She goes, yes, because while I'm cleaning, I pray for my children. I'm ironing, I'm praying for them. 10. Growth from cleaning the house? Yes, because I'm listening to tapes. I'm thinking of the future. I'm creating my life. Contribution? Yes, to my kids, to my family, to myself. She meets all her needs. That's why she loves cleaning the house. Somebody else uses language like, I'm not cleaning that frickin' stuff. It's a waste of my frickin' time. So it all depends on what needs you're related to. How many follow? Change your words, change your perception, change your procedures. Some people say, I love paying bills. I'm going, you love paying bills. Yes, there's so many of them. And they're always changing. Really, variety. What else? She goes, well, I go, but I pay the bills in different rooms of the house. And I play different music in each room. And then she says it feels significant and she feels connected because she says when I sign the checks, I think of the person and I send them love. And I think I want them to prosper. And then she goes, I know that comes back to me. It's just what you focus on. What you focus on is first controlled by the words you use. And that's controlled first by the questions you ask, whether you're aware of it or not. How many get the power of this principle, the power of language? Raise your hand, say I. Let's put that on the stage in. Here's a couple of the principles again. I won't walk you through them all in detail, but I'll give you a little step at a time here. So first principle is language, the power of language, which I think of as the principle of passion. Second power is the power of results focus. I'm not going to take any time on this because you got it now, don't you? You focus on the result. It's like taking the power of your mind and body and brain and putting it the laser power instead of having it scattered. You're no longer scattered on activities. Third principle, really of RPM, is the power of purpose. No more time on this one. You got it. Does the why change the how? Yes or no? Does it change the quality of how you go about it when you're doing it for a different reason? Yes or no? I'll give you my core belief in life. Motive does matter. Motive does matter. If you want to know my pain in life, my ultimate pain is people think of me as a motivator. I hate that term. Mr. Motivator. You know, people go, I don't need any motivation. I say, well, that's good because that's not what I do. Right? You know, don't have a nice big belly. Go, I don't need any motivation. I'll go, that's obvious. You're highly motivated to eat. Right? I'm the why guy. I want to know why you say you want to lose weight, but you keep eating. Because what motivation is your motive for action. I'm very interested in what your motive is. You should understand your motive, your why, your purpose. That's where all the power of life is. And I believe motive does matter. If your motive in your business is just to make money, you can make it because you're focused on it. But I believe life moves to support whatever supports more of life. And I think a reason why Home X or a Zappos grows the way they do is because they have a higher purpose as well. And the higher purpose is to serve something more than themselves. See, If I'm just trying to meet my needs, I'm going to get a certain level of insight. And I looked at my life throughout my life over the last 30 years and thought, stuff happened at times that anybody who was there would go, that's impossible. No way that could happen. How could he know that? How could you shift that person? How could you change that situation? I've had these moments throughout my life. And I believe insight comes because I wasn't focused on me succeeding or failing. I was completely focused on serving them, and the insight shows up. You try to take care of your family, you're going to get a different level of insight than just yourself. Trying to take care of your company, even bigger insight. Trying to take care of your community, trying to take care of the world, humanity, without being ego, not saying it. If that's really your intention affects the quality of what you're exposed to, of the insight, of what comes through you. Motive does matter. And we can always shift our motive. There's nothing wrong with wanting to meet your needs and others. The game changes. And by the way, if you do this in your planning, i.e. creating, the game changes. Okay? You make it a ritual. RPM is a ritual of questions. You got to get it in your body as a sequence. When you get it in your body as a sequence and you lock it in and you condition it, it'll just happen. It'll happen like, what do I need to do, used to happen inside of you. Next principle, number 4, it's the power of mapping. That means that once I know the result I'm after, once I know why I'm doing it, I got the right language, I need to come up with a map. You know what's interesting about a map? It doesn't always work. How many of you ever used before, in the old days, before they had Google Maps, there was a company called MapQuest. Whoever made the fatal mistake of using this crappy product? And what happened if you use MapQuest? What usually happened? You ended up getting a place worse than if you would have guessed. Because their map had nothing to do with the reality of the territory. Well, the more you do something, the more you're able to come up. The first time you do a map, you might be a little off. But if you do a map again and again and again, pretty soon you start learning the pathways to get to a result quicker, don't you? When you start making these maps, these action items, you're going to start to find certain ones get you further than others. And pretty soon, what took a long time, you're going to know the shortcuts. Oh, I know how to get from here to there quicker. I know the map. That's what used to be your to-do list. Now it's going to be a map to an outcome that's being fueled by your purpose. Okay? And then very quickly, as a principle, number 5, the power of chunking. So you've been in the seminar this week, and you got all this information. And I've attempted to get you to at least capture it in one place in the form of principles and actions. That alone chunks it a bit. That means you can turn that part of your book and review the principles right. You know, you can read the whole book, look at the principles, and you look at your action and say, okay, what does this relate to? You could just make it a to-do list of all these things you're going to do and figure out when you're going to do them. Or you could take all those to-dos. You could say, okay, these all relate to marketing. These are all the actions related to the outcome of making sales better. These are all the outcomes related towards culture and improving my culture. And you can take this random list of to-dos and maybe fit them in 6 drawers, 6 categories. See, years ago, I started chunking. I started to realize I could get out of stress very quickly if I just learned to chunk things. I'd not only get out of stress, but now when I thought of my day and I got interrupted, instead of going, oh my God, I got 57 individual things to do, there's only 3 things I'm after today. I get refocused on my outcome. How many follow this? Say I. You can do this with your project. You can do this with your week. You can do this with your company. So after a while, I came up with this idea. What if you could imagine your own home, the home you live in right now. What if we could take everything out of your house and you weren't there? And we dumped it all into just boxes. And the boxes got all collapsed into each other. And you were going to move, and you weren't around, and then people just took all your stuff and just dumped it in the living room of your new house. Everything mixed in there. Underwear, toilet paper, soap, tissue, notebooks, computers, books, cosmetics, all mumbled and jumbled together in the middle of the floor. Would that be somewhat stressful for you? Yes or no? But what if, in advance, you took everything in your life and knew it would fit into one of, let's say, 2 chest of drawers, 6 drawers in each, 12 drawers, maybe giant drawers, categories. Like everything fit into, home appliances or cooking or intimate wear or whatever. If you had those 12 and everything could fit in one of those, you could take anybody in that room, once they knew those categories, how quickly could we transform that living room? How fast? Yeah, this goes here, this goes there, boom, 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 boom. And by the way, when it's done, how quickly could you then get what you want? You know exactly where to go, put all your focus in there, you open the drawer, you find what you want. Would you like to be able to do that with all your outcomes? All your action items? I'm going to show you how. And this process is a simple way of managing your life. And I'll give you the big picture first for a moment. I'll scribble it up here as a chunking device. Think of your life this way, as a gross generalization. And by the way, chunking is an art, not a science. What does that mean? Is there a right way to do chunking, yes or no? No, there's no right way to do it because it's art. What somebody else thinks is beautiful, you might think is ugly. Chunking is to meet whose needs? Your own. Now, if you're trying to chunk to help other people, then you're going to have something that's got a little more science and art to it. But think of it this way. If we were going to try to manage your life, what if we had a life management system, not a time management system? Because the only reason for time is it's a resource so you can get the life you want. Is that fair to say? And let's take two aspects of your life. But one area is, let's say, your personal life. That's an area of your life, your personal life, that you want to manage. And another area of your life is your professional life. Whatever you do professionally, running the company, marketing director, sales director, maybe you run many companies, you're an entrepreneur. What if we could take everything related that's most important in your life personally, and we could focus on the things that needed to happen regularly? So for example, if you don't focus on making your health better, does it get better or worse as the years go by? Which one? You can't afford not to give it consistent focus. And by the way, do you have to keep improving it, yes or no? If you try to keep it static, is health a static thing, yes or no? No. What about relationships? If you don't focus on relationships, do they tend to get better or worse? So there's some areas of your life within your personal life. If this was an area of life you're managing, is your personal and professional life. Your whole life could be managed in these two categories. If underneath these, we could say everything that matters fits within 6, 8, 10, 12 drawers. They might be things, and I would call these categories of constant and never-ending improvement. For short, we call them categories of improvement. These are areas that you've got to constantly focus on once a week, once a month, some of them once a day. They're areas that never go away. Does that make sense? And so in your personal life, what would be some areas you're going to constantly focus on? You might say, well, there's my health. There might be a drawer called family. There might be another one on finances. Does that make sense? And within those areas, you could have specific goals for this year, for this month, for this week. You might have certain musts that had to go in there. But you could put everything in there, and you could look at it once a week or once a month to make sure you're on target. Am I making sense? Yes or no? Will this help you to chunk your life a little bit? Yes or no? Because if your whole personal life could fit into 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 max these, you could chunk it. You could keep track of it and still making progress. Because most people make progress on what they focus on. So they focus on their business and their body deteriorates. Who can relate to this one? Raise your hand. Or they focus on their body and their relationships deteriorate. You're so damn into yourself you don't even hear it. Or they focus on their kids and their intimate relationship breaks down. But if you had a way to keep on target, you could still put more focus on some things than others, but you kept it balanced, your life would work better. What are some areas, categories within your business that you have to constantly focus on and improve? Someone tell me. What are some categories that never go away? Tell me. Marketing. That would be a drawer. What's another one? Sales. What's another one? Accounting, finances, cost controls. What's another one? Culture, empowered employees. Do you think you could take everything in your business and maybe put it in a maximum of 12 drawers? And then whenever you had a meeting, you could say, what are our outcomes Instead of this long list, you go, what are our outcomes around empowering our employees? What are the outcomes for this year, for this quarter, for this month, for this meeting related to sales? What are our outcomes for this meeting? For marketing. And guess what? Then you don't have this situation where you're doing great one part of the business, the other part bites you. See, if she doesn't do the paperwork, i.e. the finances, the production, whatever, if she focuses only on sales, we can guarantee her failure. It's only a matter of time. And it's not because she doesn't care, it's because she doesn't have a system of chunking her life. She gets overwhelmed because she thinks the sales is all these things. More likely, she makes paperwork all these things. I talk to people all the time. Somebody who doesn't work out regularly, doesn't exercise regularly, I'll say, how important do you think work out? Oh, yeah. And you'll finally get them really say, I'm going to work out. But I'll say, why haven't you worked out up until now? I know you're committed now, but up until now, I want, not excuses, I'm not making you wrong. Just tell me, when you think about working out, tell me how you think about it. And listen, here's what they'll say to me. Wow, God, it's so much work. Really? Well, tell me what do you got to do to work out? So, me right now, I don't even have any running shoes. I don't have any gear. I don't have any clothes. I'd have to go buy the stuff. I'd have to drive to the sporting goods store, and then I have to go in there and try stuff on, and I don't feel very good about my size now anyway. It'd be uncomfortable, and then after I pick what's working, I don't really know what I should be wearing. I don't know if I'm going to run or I'm going to work out or lift weights. I don't know what to buy, but let's assume I got all that stuff. Well, then what? Well, then I got to go to the front and sit there in that damn counter, wait, and then write the check, and then get in my car, and well, what else do I do? Then I have to find a place to work out. Okay, well, what does that mean? I'd have to, go on the web and search for, clubs nearby, and then, then I have to drive to each of those individual clubs, and I'd have to go in and kind of go through the tour they give you, and then sit through somebody trying to pitch me on buying 500 years of subscription to go there, and I don't like to be sold, and, well, let's say you bought one. Well, then they take a picture of you, and you look ugly, it looks worse than your driver's license, and then each time I go there, I have to go there, I have to drive there, I have to find a place to park, and then I got to go in and show my badge, and then I got to go find the locker, and then I got to hang my stuff up, and it's going to drop, and I put on my stuff, and I got to go wait for the first machine. It's probably sweaty, so I have to probably go walk it or wipe it off, and then I go to one machine, another machine, and then I got to come back, and now I got to take off my sweaty clothes, and now I got to go take a shower and see parts of people's bodies I don't really want to see. And then, after all that, I got to dry my hair again, put on my makeup, put on my clothes that are probably wrinkled, put in the smelly bag, and then I got to go show them the thing so they can stamp my thing so I don't have to pay for the parking. And then I got to find my car, and I got to get my car, and then I got to drive off. Want to eat? Sure. What does eating take? Well, you just do it. Let's just drive there and eat. Eating is 2 steps in their mind. Working out is 429. The way you chunk things is what makes you like them or dislike them. See, when I first wanted to drive that stick-shift car, it was a lot of chunks. I got to watch the road, drive this, do this, push this and out too, and watch the rearview mirror? No way. But now, you watch the road, you drive the car, that's one chunk. It's in your body. How many follow what I'm talking about here? Say aye. So you can over-chunk something into too many items, or you can under-chunk it where it's overwhelming to try and do one big step. That's where the art comes as far as chunking is concerned. So in your life, you want to be able to come up with categories for your personal life, categories for your professional life. Does this make sense? So let's try something. Let's give you a quick little example. What I want you to do, as you take a look here, I want you to, the middle of this circle is 0, and the outside edge is 10. 10 means where you want it to be. Whatever 10 is for you, it's different for everyone. So 0 is you're not where you want to be. 10 is exactly where you'd like to be. So if you look on the screen, what I'm asking you to do is, let's say, for example, the physical area of your life. And I want you to go. Now notice this person went up about 70% of the way. There are 7 out of the 10. Their idea of a 10 of what they like to be physically, they're not. They're not a 0. They're about 7, and they draw a straight line across. Then we look at emotion and meaning. And we say, where do you live emotionally? How much joy, excitement, happiness, passion, aliveness compared to what you want? How much meaning? And this person went 0 to 10, they went, I'm about a 3. I'm about 30% there, or 2.5%, 25% there. Where are you compared to you are where you want to be? It's not somebody else's judgment. in your relationship. 0 to 100% of where you want to be would be 10. By the way, if you don't have a relationship, it would be 0. Just in case you need coaching on this. Okay? And then if we go time, where are you in the mastery of your time? Where time serves you versus you serve time. This person says, yeah, I'm about 7 out of 10 that. How about your career? How's that going 0 to 10? This person goes, I'm an 8 on that. Draw a straight line across. Where are your finances? I'm doing damn good there. I'm at a 9 on my finances. And then where are you in your sense of celebration of life? If life is a celebration and you feel a great sense of contribution, they say, no, I'm pretty stressed. I'd have to say, honestly, I'm at about a 3 there or 2 there. Do yours real fast. Just draw a straight line across where you are. Center is 0, out is 10. 0 is not at all. 10 is exactly where you want to be. Real fast. You got 30 seconds. Great. So look at your design that's in front of you right now, and just ask yourself this question. If this was the wheel on the car called your life, how would your car run? Better yet, what if you're going to drive that car 150 miles an hour? What could you guarantee is going to happen, my friends? What's going to happen? You're going to crash. How many are going to have a lot of stress when you start trying to drive this thing fast? Say I. Guess what owning your own business is? Driving 150 miles an hour, isn't it? So what used to be okay when you work for somebody else, it's kind of bumpy and stressful, when all the responsibility ultimately is yours, and it's out of balance, it's pure pain. How many can relate to this in some way? Say I. Things get this way because most people ask the question, what do I need to what? Do. They don't have a set of categories that once a week they look and go, okay, what's my most important outcome for my body this week? What's my most important outcome for my relationships? Yes, in the middle of everything else, I'm going to put those rocks in first. Somebody gave you that metaphor, right? I'm not going to pour all the water in. First, I'll put the rocks in. You're the most important outcome for anything else shows up for each of those areas, because otherwise the time's going to be gone. How many follow I'm talking about here? Say I. So that's why we do a once-a-week planning session where we look at our categories, both professional or business and personal. Make sense? Now, the way we do that is with language also that's compelling. Here's some examples of how some people have junked their life. These are their categories of constant never-ending improvements. For Suzanne Williamson, it's family, business, friends, community, physical well-being, finance, emotional, and spiritual. This is my old list. It's been updated. It was my physical power, I called it, world-class health and fitness. By the way, why did I use that language?